Hello again, just getting off of work. Thought I'd come have a steak with you guys and talk to you a little bit. Lots been going on in my life. You know, it's been a topsy-turvy time since I left the retirement home industry. Ever since we moved to Florida and went off on this big adventure we've been on. It's been tough sometimes, but you know what? It's been good. We'll talk about some meat and exercise and maybe even some surprises. So stick around. You know, one of the keys to my diet has been making it easy to get something good to eat, and lately, more than ever, with working 2 jobs right now and trying to maintain my channel, time is a real luxury. So I'm really glad to have been using the air fryer for so long because it really simplifies things. And I always start from frozen. Ever since I discovered cooking steaks from frozen makes just such a delicious steak. Super crispy on the outside, red and juicy on the inside. But you'll see that in just a moment. I've set the air fryer for 475 degrees. I put it on the air fry setting. I didn't technically do a preheat, but since it's running right now, it's preheating. I just didn't want to wait for the timer when I'm ready to put it in. It cooks it the same way. I mean, there's only 2 things in there, a heating element and a fan, so it's not going to do anything special doing it on grill as opposed to air fry. At least I don't think it does. What more can it do? So I'm knocking the frost off of my frozen steak right now using this little torch I have here, and there's a link for that torch in the description if you're looking for something like that. It's not really great for searing a steak, but when we're done with this you'll see that it does do a good sear all by itself. Add a little Redmond salt. You know, I was talking to the chef at the place I work at right now. They have wonderful steaks there, and I asked him about dry brining, and he said, no, we don't do that. And I thought, oh, do you use some kind of marinade? And he said, no. We don't start playing with the flavor of the meat at all. And I thought, wow, I never thought of that. I always figured using salt was about as simple as it gets. So I learned a little something talking to him. I'm still not ready to get away from using salt though for a couple of reasons. 1, I love it. 2, I need the electrolytes. When you eat only meat, you're going to be deprived of electrolytes pretty quick, especially if you're active. And I've been more active in the past couple of years than I have my entire life. Especially the job I've been doing package loading for the shipping company I was working for, or I am still working for. But that's coming to an end soon. It's going to be nice to be down to 1 job, well, technically 2 jobs if you count running this channel. But it's going to be nice down to 1 work for somebody job. And really I think of this channel as more of a mission than a business. It just works out that it happens to help pay a few bills. So I appreciate you guys coming to watch because it helps out. And hopefully, well, not hopefully, I know that I have, because I've heard from so many of you that have told me how much learning about this way of eating has changed your lives and helped you to get healthier and get your lives back and break free from the chains that have been binding you. So I'm glad to be able to come and do this. And it works out as a win-win for both of us. And I think that's pretty awesome. So anyway, there's 26 minutes on this timer. That's a good, pretty thick ribeye steak there. I'd say about 1.25 inches. I didn't check the weight on it because I wrapped it up myself a long time ago and didn't put the weight down. But 26 minutes may be too much. But I'm going to use a little tool I have called the meter, which some of you have heard of if you've been here before. This is a great little thermometer that works with Bluetooth in your phone, whether it's an iPhone or an Android phone, and it allows you to make sure you don't overcook the meat. The only problem is I can't put it in early when you cook it from frozen. I have to do it at around the time I flip the meat. So we'll put that in a little bit. Hey Siri, set a timer for 13 minutes. So I waited about a minute to set that timer, so we're gonna not really flip it right at the midway point. And I found that since I've been cooking with the stainless steel grill on the inside of the air fryer rather than the Teflon coated plate that it came with, not only has it been better because I don't have my food touching the Teflon, but also because the air flows a lot better around the meat, and it allows it to heat both sides a lot more accurately. So it's almost to the point that I don't even need to flip it. I think I just do it out of habit now, but also because I got to add the meter so I can keep an eye on the timer. And when I'm not using a ribeye like that, I like to add some fat. Now I've talked about that in other videos. One of the nicest new things I've been able to do on this diet is being able to add fat, not only because it helps with the energy that I need on the diet, but it also actually helps with weight loss, I've noticed. I thought adding fat would cause me to have a harder time, but I hit 175 pounds the other day, and I'm not even trying to lose any extra weight. Now, it might have a little to do with the fact that this job, and I guess I should go ahead and talk to you about that, especially for those of you who have been coming to my channel for a long time and wondering what I'm doing now. I'm actually doing in-room dining for a luxury hotel at a local tourist attraction that we have here in the Ocala area. I don't want to mention the name of the business because I don't know what kind of publicity they would be unhappy with, and I don't want to risk anything, so I'm not going to mention the name, but if you're familiar with the area, you can probably figure it out. But what I do love about this job is that I get over 3 miles a day just walking on the job, because you have to travel around from room to room a lot, picking up trays and dropping off food. And I've been tracking my steps with my Apple Watch, and I'm getting well over 10,000 steps a day and definitely doing over 3 miles a day. I try to track the distance using the exercise app feature, but I keep forgetting to unpause it when I'm moving about the building, so sometimes I don't get an idea, but I've seen it go over 4 miles in a day before. So hey, to me it's great. I get to make a living and I get to get the exercise I need at the same time. And one of the neatest things about this diet that I have not mentioned a whole lot about is I don't sweat nearly as much as I used to. I used to sweat back when I was 250 pounds, 200 pounds plus. I would sweat just thinking about doing work. I remember playing video games and realizing after a couple hours of playing like Call of Duty or something like that, I'd look down and I was just sweat all over the place. And I'm thinking, how do I sweat sitting in place? And when I used to work in an electronics store back in the day, or anywhere where I was doing something that was a little bit of activity, it could have been something as simple as building a piece of furniture for an electronics system or something like that, and I would just be pouring sweat. Now I get a good workout going and I'm barely sweating at all. Now I do sweat, but it really, I have to be putting in a lot of energy, which is great when you wear white shirts all the time, because I don't have to worry about getting all the stains and things that come with that. So that's been a nice side effect of doing this way of eating, is cutting down on the sweating. And if you're like I was and you were heavier and tend to sweat real easy, this might be a real nice bonus for you if you're going to try a way of eating like this. Well, while that's cooking for a little bit, I'm going to get a little more comfortable. Ah, that's better. This will make it a little easier to wind down. I feel a little more comfortable dressed in t-shirts. You know, years ago I used to work jobs where I wore a suit all the time, and even when I was the administrator at a retirement home, the only times I ever wore a suit was when I had to go on TV, or if I had to go out into the public eye to talk about our retirement home or something like that. But I got to the point where I'm a t-shirt and jeans kind of guy. But it's actually kind of nice to get dressed up again. I feel a little bit, I don't know, it just feels nice. I'm gonna whet my appetite with a few Carnivore crisps here while I wait for this to cook. Bag was almost empty, so it was perfect timing. Leg of lamb, one of my favorites. But the reason I didn't tell you much about what I was doing yet is, you know, it's a little bit tough when you go from an executive position to doing something like package handling or even working as a server. I mean, I was a server 25 years ago was the last time I did any type of serving type of position, and it kind of felt like a step backward. But not only am I working with great people, and is the company very nice to the people that work there, they treat us like people that are members of their family rather than a number, so that's very good. But even more importantly, something that I've really been able to get in touch with since I've been doing all the exercise and the changes that have come since I've been doing Lion Diet, the changes to my discipline in my life, discipline in other areas, quitting vaping, quitting smoking, quitting drinking coffee even, quitting pretty much all stimulants, coming off of all my meds. All of these wonderful things that have come about since I started this way of eating. It's even affected my spiritual life tremendously. And when I think about the fact that the creator of the universe humbled himself enough to become a servant for us, then I should find no shame in serving others. And I don't, because the humility that comes from it is much better than the arrogant pride of life that I might have had once before. And I'm thankful to be able to learn it and still be able to provide for my family, to have all the benefits I've been able to take from this way of eating and to thrive so much. And it's something that I want for everybody out there. I want you guys to know, because I know that people still that I talk to all the time remind me constantly that even though I've got over 20,000 viewers who know about lion diet and know about carnivore living and know that meat is not bad for you, there are thousands of people out there that are still thinking the way we've been taught for the past 30 years to avoid the fat and to eat the grains and all of the things that were causing me to have so many problems. And now that I've changed to my way of eating, which is only ruminant meat, water, and salt, and I've added a few things back since. Ooh, I gotta flip the steak, so let's get that ready. But I've added a few things back, like pasture-raised eggs, and occasionally I'll have shrimp, which is great for getting the iodine that I was missing before. I supplement iodine still because I don't eat enough shrimp to make a difference, but it's nice to be able to have something that's natural. I really am not a big fan of taking supplements, but sometimes it's helpful. In today's busy modern world, it's helpful to have something you can just take a few pills and be done with it. Although I don't like doing medicines anymore. All right, let's throw the meter in this thing. I'm gonna stick it in the fat part of the meat right here. Just be careful not to let it poke out the other side. Make sure I don't go too deep inside. All right, so I'm opening the meter app here. And the first thing it's gonna ask me to do is to connect to the meter device. Well, it's already in there and going. So I'm gonna hit on here. Well, it actually connected on its own. And now I'm gonna go into the cook setup and select beef, ribeye. I'm going to set it for 135. Start cook. You might want to go a little lower. I like 135. It tends to make the external part perfect for me. The internal's done a little more than I used to like, but I've grown to like it overall this way better. You know, to each his own. I still do like rare and blue rare steak, but when I'm doing an air fry from frozen, I love this. This is just my favorite way to do it. But you set the temperature the way you like, because you might like it at 129 or 125 even better. So as you can see now, it's showing the internal temperature is 82 degrees. That's inside the steak. And the target temperature is 135. It's estimating the cook time right now, and in a few minutes it's going to give me a rough estimate as to how long it thinks it's going to take to be done. On the timer that was set when we started at 26 minutes, there's 9 minutes left right now. So we'll see how it plays out all together. And you can also see the ambient temperature inside the air fryer is right around 440 degrees right now. It dropped a little bit because I opened it, and then also the meat is still bringing the temperature down, keeping it from being a straight 475. And that's where turning on the preheat feature can help, but when you open the air fryer you let a lot of the heat out. So I'm not too big of a stickler about making sure I do the preheat setting. So while we wait for that to finish estimating, I do want to talk to you a little bit about exercise, because one of the things I miss doing with you guys is going on my walks and recording those so I can encourage you to keep doing the walks that you need to do. Keep getting the exercise you need to do. You know, there was a time when I just wouldn't exercise. I kept talking about how I need to get out and get some walking in, even if it was just 30 minutes a day. But in my mind, that was a bridge too far. Granted, I was very busy, and I'm very busy now, and I'm thankful for the fact that I get the exercise while I'm walking. But there was a time, if you'd have told me I was going to be doing an 8-hour-a-day job plus another job, and both of them I'm on my feet all the time, I would have said I can't do it. There's no way I could have done that. Now, it comes easy. Do I have soreness? Yes, I have soreness. Do my feet hurt? Yes, my feet hurt. But I'm able to do it. And that's another miracle to me. I feel younger. I feel stronger. I feel stronger than I did when I was younger. That's the amazing thing to me, is it just feels good. And when people give me a hard time about eating meat, I have a lot of people asking me, what do you do with the naysayers? I don't argue with them. There's no sense in arguing with them. When you have people who scoff at what you're doing, then just go on to somebody else. You know, let them argue about it all they want. You don't need to argue with them. Let the results speak for themselves. That's the way I look at it. If you're doing a way of eating like this and you're seeing results, just let the results keep speaking for themselves. Don't worry about what other people are saying. And do what's going to work for you. And you know, I've told you all before too, having an all meat way of eating like I have is not necessarily what you need if you're just looking for weight loss. I started this diet with the purpose of fixing a gut issue I had. I didn't think it was going to change my life the way it has, but it fixed the gut issue. It fixed a lot of other issues I had, and it has really been a life-changing experience of overall self-discipline improvement. So I have no complaints at all. But I will be getting back to doing some of my other exercises soon. I've had to put doing push-ups and pull-ups and things like that a bit on hold because I still have tendinitis in both arms from the loading packages like I have been. I looked up the tendinitis, and that repetitive work, repetitive use feature is what really causes that, and it just takes away all the strength I have in my arms. I am doing some small exercises while I'm at work, but I want to get back to my normal routine very soon. But you know, working at the package delivery company still has made that just about impossible to get past that constant use feature, because it's a lot of the same stuff, you know, picking it up, putting it down, picking it up, putting it down, and I'm moving in different directions, and that's why both arms have got the same problem. But again, this is just something I couldn't have done in the past if it wasn't for this way of eating. It has changed everything. Well, we got 4 minutes left on the timer, and we're still estimating the cook time, but I expect it's going to come up real soon. Speak of the devil, right when I took that last mouthful of Carnivore crisps, it popped up saying 9 minutes remaining. Odds are it's not going to take a full 9 minutes, but I'm going to bump my timer up to 9 minutes so we won't miss it. That would put the total at about 31 minutes based on that. And it already dropped, even while I was talking to you, to 7 minutes. So it's not going to need that full amount. So that puts it down to 29 minutes, and we'll see if it updates even faster than that. It probably will. The meter is not 100% accurate in guesstimating the time, but it is really accurate at making sure the temperature is where you want it when you're done. I can't wait to show this to you because I can't wait to eat it. Alright, the timer just went to 1 minute remaining, so I wanted to come back and wrap this up with you because there's 4 minutes remaining on my other timer. That puts it right at about 28 minutes that we're going to have this cooked for. And I say about because I can't see the second timer on either one of these. But in just a moment we're going to plate this up and see how it looks. Oh, and it just said remove from heat. Perfect. Let's take a look at that. See how it came out right on the surface there. I mean, it's real crispy on these edges here, crispy on the sides. The fat is charred real good. Oh, I can't wait. Now, one of the things I do like to do sometimes is I'll cut the big fat piece off on the end and cut it into small chunks so that it's more crispy throughout the fat portion. But you know what? I love the fat even when it's kind of gooey, because it reminds me of eating scallops. You know, I never was the one that would eat fat that way, but ever since I've been doing this way of eating, I have learned to appreciate the flavor of all of it. I'm also going to take the liquid fat that's inside the air fryer here and pour it right on top of this steak. Look at that. That gives me time to clean the air fryer out real quick, so I'll be right back. There, now that's all done. And the meter still shows that the steak is resting, so you have time to clean up and have your steak finish cooking properly while you wait for it to rest. Take a little tablecloth. Take a little paper towel here and wipe out the top surface. There's probably a lot better ways to clean your air fryer than I'm doing, so don't just take my word for it, but at least make some effort to keep it clean. And then I'm going to clean up the water I left in the bottom here. I'm going to clean up the water that I left in the bottom of the air fryer here with my paper towel. Give it a final wipe down on the stainless steel grill. And look at that, I'm all done, and it just said the steak is ready to eat. So let's cut into it. Let's take a look at it. Let me pull the meter out. Be sure to use something to keep you from burning your fingers on the meter when you pull it out, because it is still hot. Yes, I know it's ready. Thank you. You want to keep your meter clean too, and this is the, it's a real easy device. Everything's all self-contained in this one little probe, and you just wipe it down when you're done. Take the box that it comes with, which has batteries inside. Oop, goes this way. And that little part there is touching, and there's a metal thing like conductors in here to help recharge it, so it'll be ready the next time you need it. It's also got a thing on the back I could probably use to hang it on the wall, but since we're not in our house yet, I'm not worried about doing that. I just keep it in the box. Let's cut into this steak and take a look at it. See, look at that. Pink and juicy on the inside, crispy and yummy on the outside. Now let's see how it tastes. It's like a symphony of flavor. So good. For a way to lose some weight, this is one diet I never get tired of. Over 2 years of eating this way, I still love every single bite of meat. I've heard some people have meat aversion or difficulty eating meat all the time. I personally can't understand that. It's probably the same people that choke down salads and act like it's delicious. This is the only way to eat, in my opinion. I get to have the best tasting food and be in the best shape of my life at the same time. How can you go wrong? All my major health issues are gone. I mean, it's truly a miracle what carnivore diet, what lion diet has done for me. And just to reiterate, the big difference between carnivore and lion diet is carnivore is all animals, all meats. Lion diet is specifically ruminant animals, water and salt. There's other things you can drink and have on carnivore, like pepper and other spices and things like that. But on lion diet, salt is your only alternative. If you're trying to deal with autoimmune issues or gut issues like I had, you want to get it down to the bare bones of ruminant meat, water, and salt. And then you'll find out how your body responds to that, which if it's anything like I did, you're going to know very quickly that it's going to give you energy, it's going to make you feel better, you're going to lose weight, and you're just going to have a whole new life. If you don't have that response, which not everybody has that response, then you might be doing something wrong, or you might be having something you shouldn't be having, or maybe you're using the wrong kind of salt. I'll tell you one thing, I never use table salt. I always use Redmond real salt. I think it's important to get good natural salt that's not polluted by the modern sea shipping, and that you're getting something that's going to be healthy for your body. It also doesn't have iodine, so that's another key thing to remember, is that you may want to supplement some iodine. Iodine is real important for your thyroid's ability to produce hormones for the rest of your body. And not everybody had a lot of iodine, but they might have. I don't really understand, because you have to get iodine from the sea to have that, but I think it makes a big difference for me, because I already had hormone issues before this, and now they're just about gone. I say just about because I haven't taken a good new look at my testosterone numbers, but I can tell you one thing, I can feel that my testosterone is just as good as it's ever been, because issues I used to have, I don't have anymore, and they were related to low testosterone. So I feel like a new man, and I hope this inspires you some. If you haven't decided that you're going to take the plunge and try something different, get away from all the processed foods and all the seed oils and the sugar and the breads and the garbage that's in our food supply, and start eating something that's a more natural, healthy style diet, then this is the opportunity for you. Go ahead and take it, because it's a chance to break free from so many things that are holding you back. Before I go, I got one more thing I want to share with you. I went by my P.O. box today. I got a package from one of my viewers that sent something to the P.O. box that I put in the description of every video. William Candelario. He sent me a message a couple days ago telling me I need to go check the P.O. box. And I hardly ever have time to check it, but I went by and checked it today, so let's see what we got. Now, he said in a message to me when I told him I was going to share it in this video that I'm about to release, that it's no big deal, but it's something I might get a kick out of. But you know, if you took the time to send me something, I think you deserve a little recognition, even if it's something that I'll just get a kick out of. This looks interesting. Already on the surface, I see something interesting about it, so feels like a big pillow. This is cool. I like it already, William. This is my kind of pillow. A big steak. Brother, this is really cool. I appreciate it, man. I'll put it to good use. Thank you so much. Well, I hope I covered everything I meant to cover today. I wanted to be sure to talk to you about the new job and talk to you about the cooking and be able to update all the new people who have been joining. You know, in the past month, I've had over 5,000 new subscribers. And I want to thank all of you for coming and watching and commenting and subscribing to the channel, because it's really been exciting to see the growth and to see so many more people benefiting from this way of eating. Well, that's it for now. I'll see you guys next time.
If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?